Hi everyone, Professor Brower here. Today I have for you a set of lecture notes on discourse communities. This is the second half of the set of lecture notes that I promised you last week. So please do go through all of these slides. They focus a little bit differently than the last set. This particular set of lecture notes focuses on sociolinguistics. So you'll see a few definitions of terms that we haven't gone over yet in class and that you haven't seen in the other readings that are related more to that field of study. They're important in effect because language does really help to inform and build a lot of the discourse communities that we belong to. It helps make sure that we form relationships with each other, shows the relationships we have with each other in the group, shows formality or informality. So it shows what level of expert you are in the group, or if you're new to the group, you might have a different title or a different standing. So language does help to inform all of these relationships and to help the group at large discuss, come to conclusions, come to consensus. And you might have specific language that you use within your own group that you don't use with other groups. For example, in my household, my husband helps to inform a lot of the language that we use. He's been around a lot of people, heard a lot of different sayings, knows way better jokes than me, but that's getting off the subject entirely. And one saying that he has is ubaraka. And everybody in my household knows when he says ubaraka, he's talking about water. If you were to go outside of my household, you might not understand that. So, for example, if I were to say to the whole class in one of these videos, okay, take a short ubaraka break and come right back, it would be a little bit weird, right? People might not quite understand what I'm saying or why I'm saying it. So without the context or without that discourse group that I belong to within my household, that language doesn't have a lot of meaning. Now, on a broader scale, you might understand what that means. You might be able to tell from context clues. But if you don't belong to the group, sometimes you don't understand the language, right? So go through this, take some notes on what you see, and make sure that each slide, which is fairly text heavy, that you read through everything that is on each slide. So that when you get to the end slide, there's a series of questions there. You have that terminology that you've just read in the notes you've taken to fall back on to help you answer those questions. The questions that you'll see are not questions that I want you doing a ton of research on. If you want, you can do a quick Google search or refresh your memory by looking at past notes, but I want you more employing critical thought and analysis. So I'm not looking for a right or wrong answer. I'm looking for you to think back on what we've studied so far and what you know about discourse communities in order to answer those questions. You've got a long list. Choose 5 of those questions, answer them, keep those answers in your reading notes, and you'll hand that in with reading notes batch number 1. All right. If you go through these notes and you still have questions on discourse communities, get in touch with me. Feel free to ask your peers on discussion boards as well, or send me a message on Canvas or join me on Canvas chat.